everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us. It is another Monday. It is Monday, March 22nd, and we are here once again for another episode of your show, the ALG Weekly. As we tell you, we come to you every Monday at this exact time and bring you people who are with our community members, community leaders, people who work within the community and have something to offer to our community. So we do that every Monday, and this Monday is no exception. This morning we will be talking about the pathway to homeownership, and today we have two amazing guests joining us. We have Aissata Dia, mortgage banker from Bank of the West, and she's also a member of the African Leadership Group's Homeownership and Financial Wellness Committee. And then we also have George. George is a realtor from Owusu Realty, which is his own business that he owns. And George and Astu today will talk us through the pathway to homeownership. So before we go any further, I will let my guests introduce themselves today, and we'll start with Ms. Aissata Dia. Good morning.
Good morning, Amadou. Thank you for having me. It's really a pleasure and an honor to be here today with you to talk to you about home ownership for our community members. My name is Aissata Dia, but I go by Astu. I'm a mortgage loan officer with Bank of the West and a member of the Homeownership Committee.
Homeownership Committee.
Thank you for having us, and I will let my co-member Jane, or George actually,
George.
we don't have Jane today. George, you talked about our community also.
Great. Thank you for being here today.
Okay.
Mr. Owusu, good morning to you.
Morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. I can't complain at all.
All right,
Yeah.
great. Yes, thank you for being here and weathering the snow. It was a cold morning out there, but here we are every Monday. So before we get any further, as we do every time, we like to talk a little bit about our guests. So first of all, tell the community who you are and what you do. As you just said, you're a mortgage loan officer. What does that entail for people who may not know?
Mortgage loan officer, I'm Aissata Dia. I can tell you a little bit about my background. I'm from West Africa, Senegal. I immigrated to the United States in 2006. I came here to join my husband, and I'm a mom of 3 beautiful daughters. Mm-hmm. And as a loan officer, mortgage loan officer, I just help people get loans through the bank to purchase houses. So that's why I'm involved with the home ownership committee to just help our community get to home ownership. So once they're ready to buy a house, when we check their credit, have some realtor in the community as well, they come to me for the pre-approval and get the loan application going.
It's great. Mr. Owusu, tell us a little bit about, I know you're from Ghana, which is my second country out there. I adopted Ghana as my second country.
Everybody loves Ghana. Yeah.
But yeah, tell us a little bit about that as well as Owusu Realty.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate being here and then sharing my knowledge with community members. So I was born in Ghana. I came to the States when I was about 12. So I've been here since pretty much majority of my adulthood. I love it. Right now, so my name is George Owusu. I do real estate. I'm the owner, a broker of Owusu Realty. And real estate is, is very, very something that I think we all, should possess. So right now, my sole purpose of with the community is to help guide people through the whole process, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I think having us two here also helps out, guide people. The misinformation that people always say that you need 20% to buy, all these things have changed. There's things have changed around. So I'm here to help and just promote education pretty much and help the community.
Thank you both for the great work that you've been doing with the community. And as you said, there's a lot of misinformation, and part of what we do here is make sure that we are educating our community and bring the resources to them, because most of that misinformation is due to not having access to the people who have the knowledge. But once we have that access, then we can make sure that the resources are available for our communities, and that they get the resources from the best of from the best experts that are out there. So let's talk a little bit about the Homeownership and Financial Committee. Both of you are members of that. I know you were a member before the new committee that we have right now.
Right.
So can you tell us a little bit about how did you integrate the committee, and what's the work of the committee? What does the committee do for people who haven't had the chance to come to our committee meetings?
Okay, so for what the committee does, what I like most about our committee is just not about buying a house, because we are like a financial committee. We have people that help you with your credit. Even if you're not ready to buy yet, we invite you to come into our committee to ask questions. We have ladies like Laura and Lori that works on credit. They can help you build credit, repair your credit, improve your credit. So once you're ready to buy, you are already set, you know. And once you're ready to buy, like I say, I'm here to help you, guide you through the pre-approval process. And once you get pre-approved, we have George and Jane that can help you also. They are realtors. The fun part is like to go and hunt for houses, and they are here to help with that as well. But we are all here to just educate our community. The education part is like the most important for us, because we want people to come, to not be afraid, because sometimes you talk to people and they tell you, my credit is bad, I'm not going to qualify for this. And once you check their credit, you find out, oh, what are you talking about? Who told you this? So it's just like a financial committee. Come see us, we can guide you, we can help you. It's a journey, and we're here to go through that journey with you guys.
Yeah, that's great. Then definitely that communication and the education plays a really big part. Communication and education plays a really big part in this. So, George, coming to you, and I guess the way we create committees or do things within this organization is we identify the need. So how was the process of identifying the need of that education, and then what have you seen has been improving, or what are some of the stories that you've gotten from since the workshops that we've hosted?
Well, thank you for asking that, because so when I decided to be a real estate agent, one of the things that I said to myself that there's a lot of us here, but we don't have the access to get houses, get into houses. There's so many people renting. So just like what you mentioned here, I started off going to churches, and then basically telling, explaining the process, just passing my knowledge that I know to people that, hey, we can also be homeowners. We don't have to rent, so people are like, yes, we can do that. I'm like, yeah, you can do it, but this is how. So far, what I've seen so far is working, and what Aissata mentioned, that we are here for education. Education is the main part, because without education, it's like you path to failure. You don't have access to what you need to, where you need to go. So it has, so far, is helping a lot of people. This community is really, I think we have shown that it's constantly growing. We have so many members that are in the process right now trying to fix their credit. There's people that have fixed their credit and they're in line to buy. So we show an improvement every time. So I'm very, very part of. I'm happy to be part of this organization. and I just can't wait to see the outcome of it.
Well, it's also a great honor for us to have you, and this is what we like to do, because we have experts in our communities who know and can help us with everything that we want. And so the purpose of this show and the purpose of the African Leadership Group in general is to make sure that we are bringing those expertise within our communities that we have to come in and educate us and give us the resources that they offer. So talking about resources that we offer, so working in the bank for as long as you've been there, what are some of the things that you've seen coming from our community members? Is it fear that people are fearful of the credit? Because what I've also heard is, well, because a lot of us come from countries where we don't have a credit system. We're not. Some of us maybe never heard of it till we came to the United States, and it's like borrowing can be even a taboo within some cultures. How has been? Have you had any experience with the credit?
Yes, I do. Like you say, borrowing is just a taboo for us. We don't borrow in general. But within this country, we have to. It's just not, it's because for us, when you borrow, that means you're poor or you don't have it. But in this country that we're living in, it's not like you're borrowing because you don't have it, but that's how you build your credit. That's what I was a personal banker, but when my client, before I became a mortgage loan officer, I was a personal banker. So when my clients come, usually what I tell them is like, you know what, this is how you're gonna build your credit. You wanna buy a house in the future, you wanna buy a car. So if you don't have a credit card, it doesn't mean you have to use it like 100%. Make sure you use at least a little bit paid off, use a little bit paid off each month, and that's how you're going to build your credit. And I've seen people building their credit that way or just messing up their credit that way. That's why the Homeownership Financial Committee is here to help both sides. If, for example, you have issue with your credit, we're here to help you rebuild that credit or fix that credit or improve that credit. That's when Laura and Lori come into the place to this committee. And if you never had credit, it's okay also. They're here to guide you to start a credit, to start building your credit. So we have seen it all within the banking. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So George, you being a realtor, and I guess within our community, due to the misinformation and everything, people will come to you and expect you to do everything. Mm-hmm. So you can be the credit guy, you'll be the bank loaner and all of that stuff. What have been your experience with people who've come to you and had zero credit at all, and how important, and what were the steps that you took to help them build that credit? For people who may be out there and be, well, I may want to be a homeowner, but I've never had credit. How is that process going to be? So,
yeah, thank you for asking that question. So most of the time it starts like that. You get a client that will come up to you and say, hey, I want to buy a house. So the simplest way I explain it is it's not going to a store to go buy a shoe or going to a store to go buy a shirt. This is a different process. Mm-hmm. So this is the first thing we have to do. We have to initiate. You have to talk to a lender. Whether it's your bank or whether it's a third-party lender, that's where it starts, because we need the money first in order to buy. So sometimes some people don't like the way I present it, mm-hmm. but that is reality. So I've had many cases like that where I would tell them, hey, we have to start here. But with our community members, and most of the time there's something that's like kind of like a fear. But I think that's another thing why this community is so important. We are here to guide them. So within the community, we have, lender, we have credit repairs, we have, and I forgot to mention in the beginning, we also have Jen. Jen is absent today. Keep standing over here. Jen is absent today, because he had a doctor's appointment. So he's also one of the real estate agent here as well. But so having this community is very, very important. And going back to your question, so the way I've handled this issue is usually I will say, hey, let's talk to a lender first, and let's talk to us two. Let's talk to us two first, because she will be able to guide me in terms of your buying power. how much you qualify, and then after that, I can start shopping for you. You know,
Great.
So, yeah.
Great, and thank you for leading us to our next question, and that is, at what time do you come in as a mortgage bank loaner? At what time should the buyer come to you, and how should they come to you? Should they just go to you directly, or should they get in touch with somebody like George or Credit Repair before they come to you?
I mean, they can come to me first, because most of the time I say that everything starts with the lender.
Yeah.
So once you go to your lender, like I was telling you earlier, people will say like, oh, I have bad credit. My credit is not on point. But when you come to me first and I pull credit, I see exactly where you're at. At that point of time, I can say, oh, we need to work a little bit on your credit to do some improvement. Or if everything is okay, I'll be like, oh, you're good to go. Let's just get the pre-approval going. And once I get you your pre-approval letter, that's when I get in contact with Jane or George, and then they can start like showing you houses, because they know exactly now this is how much you qualify for, so they can start looking at houses for you, and then just like taking you to houses to visit. And then once they find a house for you and get under contract, that's when they come back to me and the loan application gets started really.
Yeah. And how important, George, is that pre-approval? Because I know you have to know what house can they buy, how much they can, and to make it easy on you when people come to you, it would be preferable for them to already have that pre-approval. And how important is that pre-approval in the process of you finding that house?
So the pre-approval is very, very significant because most listing agents want to see that the buyer has went through the process of funded. You know, so without that pre-approval, it's like, you know, me going to go buying something off the street, you know, buying a car, and that seller, it's not going to trust me that I have that funding, you know. So if that seller is smart, he's going to that seller's going to go with me to the bank, make sure that I have the fund in order to, you know, be able to buy the house. So going back to, you know, in the real estate world, most listing agent wants you to submit that pre-approval along with the offer to show that the buyer actually qualifies for this property or can buy this property. So it's very, very significant, yeah.
And then I'll still stay with you with this question. Finding houses in the market right now.
Yeah.
I've heard that there is, you know, a lot of people are looking to buy. There's now a lot of people that are looking to sell. Yeah, there's not a lot of inventory in that. It's a seller's market.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, just that term of it's a seller's market? And then can you explain a little bit the situation that's going on with the market right now?
Yeah. So right now, you know, the market, it is very competitive. We can put all the blame on COVID. That's what I'll say. It's COVID, you know. But when we say it's a seller's market, what that means is, you know, supply is less and the demand is high. So for all your economics out there, you know, the supply and demand, you know, so that's basically what the seller's market. What we're praying at, you know, the market can just, you know, be stable where there's a lot of inventories, so people are not chasing over for one property. So that's what we all praying for, all the agents are praying for. But right now we just have to work with what we have, which is the market we're in because of COVID. So I'm going to put all the blame on COVID right now.
It's all the blame is on COVID, and I guess COVID has also had an impact with your industry, and rates have been down, even for people who were refinancing and stuff like that. What is the current situation of where the rates are right now, and what is the projection of rates going to go up with the COVID going away and stuff like that?
There's no projection yet that rates are going up. Rates are being pretty stable for the last year for buyers, new buyers, and refinance, especially for refinance. We got a lot of refinance right now because rates are low. So, but we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Rate can go up within the next day or next few days, who knows. But for now, rates are very stable, rates are very low. It's time, it's like George was saying earlier, it's buying season. So whoever wants to buy, don't be afraid. Come see us, go see your lenders, your banks, like George says, to see if you qualify. Don't be afraid. And what I like most is like when people are not ready yet. When they come to me and say, my credit is not on point. And then I take that journey with you. And we have a lot of experience with that. So that's what I like the most, helping people, elevate people, help them if they need to improve credit, if they need down payment assistance, that I'm here to help you with that. I mean, it's just like we're inviting everybody to our workshop coming up soon for people to come up and see us so we can help them. If you need to improve credit, if you're ready to buy, we're here to help our community to just educate them, improving their credit, getting into houses. We want people to own their own home because renting, it's good, it's not bad, there's nothing wrong with renting, but you are just paying somebody else's house. So why not owning your own home and get that generational wealth?
Oh, so why not own your own home and get that generational wealth? And as we say here, our mission is to help the African community integrate the African diaspora. And what better way to integrate than to have a stake in the community that you live? What better way to integrate that you have something to leave for your kids and family? And as Aissata just said, to build that generational wealth. Because once you build wealth somewhere, you have a stake there, you automatically become a part of that community because you have a stake in that community. So George, I guess, is it important, or in your part, the role that you play in this, to know when the customer comes to you, even though they've been pre-approved and everything, how important is it for the customer to be upfront with you as to how much they can afford for down payment or what it is they can exactly afford? Right.
So that part is very significant because it's like if you. I always say this, you can be tossed in an ocean. You got to have a path. So the customers, most of them, it's still, they're trying to build that trust factor with you, so they don't tell you everything. So it's you just have to take little by little by little. But at the same time, in my experience so far, in my time of doing this, you have to just be patient. Patient is, everything. And with the type of clients that with our community members, patience, gets you the long way. If you're not patient, you're going to be, this is not the industry for you. So most of the time, I'm just patient with them. Even if they have not even pre-approved, I have to be patient with them because they came to me for a reason. And the reason is, to buy or whether they need some help. So I have to be patient myself as well, and and I always talk about this is education, and because real estate, like we say this in real estate, location. Whereas this community that we have is education. So that's what we hear. That's why I'm so happy that finally we're able to put this community together and to be able to just educate our members because there's so many people living in and I'm saying this out of passion because there's so many people living in apartments and that needs to change. We need to put a footprint in here, so yeah. So it is very, very important. I know I went off tangent.
Nah, that was great.
Very, very important, yeah.
That was great. So Aissata, then I guess this is also important for the loan process to have a down payment. And then how important is it for down payment? And then I guess earlier when we started, we talked about the misinformation of people believing you have to have 20% down payment, you have to have 10%. In reality, what's that percentage that you need to have? And how important is that down payment? How will it play for you in the long run?
Yes, so down payment is not, you can put 20% down. You can put as much as you want down, but you can put as little as 3.5% down also. And with our community and first-time home buyer, we have the down payment assistance program that we can put you into and help you, guide you to go through that process and get approved for the down payment assistance program. But down payment is crucial when you buy a house. You have to have a down payment. But you can come as little, sometimes I heard it on commercial, you can come as little as $1,000 down or 0% down. That's true, because with the down payment assistance program out there, we can help you and guide you. Don't be afraid saying like, I don't have the 20% down right now. Come and talk to us. Once you talk to us, we can guide you. There is ways to go to get down payment assistance, especially for first-time home buyers.
And then I'll stay with you for this upcoming question, and that is the different types of loans. I'm not educated in this at all, but I hear about FHA loans, conventional loans. Can you explain a little bit about?
Yes, so that's when down payment comes to the game again. So once you want conventional loan, your credit has to be a certain point, and you have to give certain percentage of down payment. For FHA, most of the first-time home buyer that don't have that much money, we can put you into an FHA loan. FHA is not as bad as people think, because it's just a starting point. So once you get to your FHA loan with a little down payment and down payment assistance as well, after a few years, a year or two, or even 6 months, you can always refinance your home and get rid of that mortgage insurance that comes with an FHA loan. That's why a lot of people don't like FHA loan, because it comes with that mortgage insurance. But then don't worry about that, because it's just like a starting point. So start with an FHA, it's okay, get your down payment assistance program help, and once you get to your home, pay that mortgage insurance, maybe a few years, and then get to a conventional loan. If you have that money, you can also just come up and start with a conventional loan, because with a conventional loan, you can come as little as 5% down.
Yeah, thank you. So my next question for you, George, is depending on the different types of loans, for sellers and even you, is there a preference of, or is there a preference of FHA loan, conventional loan, as far as the buyer is concerned?
So for me, since I'm just a mutual person representing whether the seller or the buyer, it all depends. So most of these transactions, we don't make the decision. We basically consultants, for our clients. So we have to present. So let's say an example, I'm representing the seller, and we have this amazing property, but we have received several offers, so some of the offers will be FHA loans, some of them will be conventional loan, but it all comes down to how that person packaged that offer. So some offers nowadays, we're seeing something called appraisal gap. I can go into that, on the next question, or I can explain it.
Go ahead.
So some people will, so going back to the appraisal gap, so let's say, they'll offer $400,000. The house is listed at $350,000. So they basically saying that they're willing to bring the difference of that $350,000 over and $400,000. So no matter what it is, they're willing to bring that difference. That is the appraisal gap. So we see a lot of that in place, and yeah, I mean, it's making the market very competitive. It goes back to the wholesalers market and so on. But yeah.
So, Aissata, the market being where it is right now, where it's a seller's market and sellers have a lot of advantage, does that make it any easier or any harder for first-time buyers who?
It can be challenging for first-time home buyers, like George was just saying, especially with the appraisal gap. With a first-time home buyer that don't have that much money, and you put a $15,000 or $20,000 appraisal gap, it can be very difficult and challenging, especially when you want a down payment assistance. So, because with a down payment assistance, the thing is they cannot go, the sales price cannot be over than the appraisal price. So you have to think of that also. So it's very challenging right now, especially for first-time home buyers.
Yeah. So the next point I want to talk about is refinancing, and I guess this will be for you, for people who have bought maybe FHA loan, or even they have conventional loan. What are the advantages of refinancing, and when should they refinance?
I mean, there is not a time frame to refinance. You can refinance at any time. But the advantage is if you have like a higher rate, even with a conventional loan, you can still have a mortgage insurance. To get rid of that mortgage insurance, it's good to refinance. That will save you money. And if your interest rate was high at that point in time, now that interest rates are low, it's a good time to refinance. That will help you save money. Don't just look at like what you're saving like right now, but over the term of the loan, how much money you are saving. So I had some people refinance, but when I explained to them, they have like a 5% interest rate. I was like, oh my gosh, 5%. It's very high. And then we can cut it down as low as 2.875. And once you get your loan at 2.875 with no mortgage insurance, how much money are you saving throughout the life of your loan? So it's crucial for people to look at their mortgage statement, because some people don't even know what are their interest rate right now. So I advise everybody to just look at your mortgage statement, see what's your interest rate, are you paying mortgage insurance, and just go see your lender or come see us, or just refinance that house, because you're going to be saving a lot of money down the road.
And as realtors, are you guys involved with refinancing in any way, or if you've helped somebody find a house, would you be there to assist in the refinancing process?
I guess for most of the time, we're not involved in the refinancing process, but usually sometimes it starts with us, because an example is you sold a house to, Joe Bob. Joe Bob may call you and say, hey, because the idea of, you selling a house to Joe is, you helping him, and then the good deed and the good service that you did for Joe is also going to bring more people towards you. So you stay in contact with them. You never lose that person. So Joe is going to call you and say, hey, I think, my interest rate, like, can you look at this for me? So sometimes I would take a look at their statement, and then I'll say, call my dear friend Aissata, and she'll be able to guide you with the refinancing process, because she's more knowledgeable about that sector than I am, because I'm strictly about real estate and I shouldn't be crossing paths. So.
Great. All right. So I guess we've covered a lot for the path to home ownership. We've talked about credit, realtors and lenders, and everything in between, to even refinancing for folks out there and people in the community who may have already purchased their houses with an FHA loan or even a conventional loan that has entrance, or your rate may just be high. So those are the options that you have available to you. And then we have this today, but we also have our workshop that the Homeownership and Financial Committee holds this upcoming Wednesday, the 24th. And so, before we end, let's talk a little bit about the workshop and the homeownership. Why should people attend this workshop for somebody who may have never heard about it, and it's just heard here as it's Homeownership and Financial Committee, and why should people attend this?
Like I say, it's not just about purchasing a house. It's not just about refinancing, but it's like a financial education. So we're inviting everybody to just come in, talk to our expert. Even if you're just looking at like rebuilding your credit or building credit or improving your credit, we have people that can guide you through that. So it's not only, don't just let the name fool you like home ownership. It's like a financial education, and then we'll look at the whole picture of your finance. So come and see us, go register, and then talk to us. We can guide you through credit, through home buying, through refinancing, whatever you're interested in, come and see us. And then we have, it's going to be via Zoom, of course, because with the time that we're living. But when you come in, it's not like an open conversation that everybody can hear what you're saying, but we have breakout rooms that you can go if you're interested in just seeing a credit repair. We have a credit repair, and you're going to be alone with that credit person in the room. If you're looking at refinancing, financing, I'm going to be there. You can come in a private room and talk to me if you're looking at buying, want to see a realtor. George and Jane will be there. So we're inviting everybody to come in and experience it with us.
Yep, definitely. So everybody is welcome. And as I say every time, it's a one-stop shop from everything, from building your credit all the way to George or Jane getting you the keys to your house. And George, who should come to this? Like at what level should be at, what part of their experience of going through that should they be coming to this homeownership?
I think honestly, I think everybody should take advantage of it. And the reason why I say this is it's education. I mentioned this earlier. In real estate, we say location, location, location. So in this case, it's education, education, education. You can't get enough education. Every day I'm learning. I'm always like, I tell myself I'm a sponge. I always listen to the cues, what people are saying, and I take that and I apply it to myself. So I would say anybody. I have been marketing it through my Ghanaian association. I'm hoping there's so many, there's some people in there that, stressing out with your credit. They're going through hardship with your credit. So this will be beneficial for, anybody. It doesn't matter whether this is be your first time buying a house or your second time buying a house, because you may benefit, maybe not on the real estate side, but you may benefit from the credit side, or you may benefit from the lending side. So I would say this should be everyone. If you have the time, just tune in and just listen. And if you want more information, go into one of the rooms with the expert and get what you need.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you have time, just tune in and even make time for it. It is actually worth making time for. And we have a lot of experts from credit to lenders to realtors, and it's happening via Zoom, but it's an experience even an in-person experience. So you still get to see these experts privately, and it's held at free of cost. So you can come in, talk to somebody about your credit, building credit, repairing your credit, free of cost to you. Come in, talk to realtors like George and Jen, or talk to lenders like us too. All of that, it's free. There is no cost for you. We offer these resources to the community because, as George has been saying, it's education, education, and education. But yes, we've come to the end of this show. It's been great. It's been a great show. But before we just end and close, is there anything that you guys would like to talk about that I didn't get a chance to ask? Any questions that you have to answer?
I would say, as you said it earlier again, just come and learn. Even if you never thought about buying a house, you're thinking about buying a house, but you have some fears, some doubts, just come and hear what the experts are saying, because it will change your mind, it will change your views. So just come out there and, just come tune in via Zoom and, just come and, hear what we have to say, because I think you'll learn something from it.
Great. Asu, any last words of wisdom to the community?
Just wanted to thank you, Amadou, for giving me this opportunity to come in and talk to the community. So I'm inviting everybody to just come in on March 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. and we'll be there to guide you, help you. Any question you might have, we'll be there for you guys. Thank you.
Do you want to give your website or bank phone number if people want to get in contact with you?
If you want to get in contact with me, it's going to be Aissata Dia at bankofthewest.com, and my phone number is 720-471-0551. 720-471-0551.
All right, great. Thank you, George. Last word of wisdom to the community, as well as how can people get in touch with you and Owusu Realty?
Well, first of all, we like to, give thanks to the African Leadership Group, because without you guys, I don't think none of this will be possible. So in terms of getting in touch with me, I think my number is out there. It's 303-882-9744. You can just if you type that number into Google, I'm on there. You'll see my lovely face. So again, 303-882-9744.
All right, good. Well, thank you both for joining us today. It was a great conversation, and I hope everybody out there found this informational and educational. So this is what we do every Monday. As I tell you, we come to you every Monday with community members, community leaders, and people who have resources to offer, and give those resources to the community and let you know of the things that we have going on here. So for our next events, we have the Homeownership and Financial Committee, which we just talked about. The workshop is this upcoming Wednesday, Wednesday the 24th, Wednesday March 24th, from 5 to 7, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Yes, and then you can, if you haven't registered yet, you can register. The link is on our website. That's usalg.org, usalg.org. Please go on there and register right now. Once you register, we'll send you the Zoom information and the information that you need to join us. And then after that event, we'll start the month of April on April 3rd. That is Saturday, April 3rd. We will be having our the COVID-19 vaccine informational forum. So if you have any doubt about the vaccine or just want to learn and be educated about the vaccine and the COVID and the different variants, please make sure that you turn in. That is April 3rd. That is April 3rd, Saturday, April 3rd, and more information coming about that event later. So that will be all for our weekly show today for ALG Weekly. Please take care of yourself, and we'll see you next Monday for another episode of the ALG Weekly. Goodbye.